BomberTV and I thought it'd be a good idea to make a new reoccurring patch series, Most Popular Decks. This series will very simply look at the most played decks in the current patch, giving you an insight into the types of deck frequently used and how you can use them yourself. Most of them will also be present in our top 10 or best meta deck series, but sometimes alternative decks can be played frequently, which may not even be the best in the current patch, so people just enjoy playing them. You can also use this series to pick decks that are more favoured against the most prominent decks. Remember, a deck with a high play rate is anything with maybe over 4% usage. This is Most Popular Decks Patch 2.0. This video has been done in collaboration with BomberTV. Please remember to like and subscribe and turn on the bell notifications too. So let's dive in. Fiora Shen is primarily a Demacia deck which also features 13 cards from Iona. It's a mid-range deck which takes advantage of two keywords, Barrier and Challenger. So in other words, revolves around very simple combat where you're doing favourable fights and protecting your units. It's a fairly expensive deck featuring 5 epic cards. Value and flexibility are the keywords with this deck. Take as many value trades as possible, which is very easy with challenges such as Screeching Dragon and Fiora. Screeching Dragon is a great common card from the last expansion, and Fiora can simply act as a cheap free power challenger card here. Try to give them barrier with cards like Shen and Riposte. Shen gives a supported ally barrier this round, and Riposte gives an ally free damage and barrier this round as well. There are also lots of tricks to take advantage and punish your opponent with, like single combat and sharp sight. Note they both involve combat to kind of fit in theme with the deck. Single combat obviously allows a favourable fight, and sharp sight makes sure you're buffed enough to kill over a key unit or survive a key fight. If value doesn't win you the game, you always have the Fiora win condition, which is easily achievable with all the protection barrier cards you have in this deck, including Iona cards such as Spirit's Refuge, so overall a very solid deck fitting most playstyles and players. Ezreal Draven is a deck featuring cards from Piltover and Zorn and Noxus. It features a very balanced mix of spells and followers and has a very low average mana cost with all but 2 copies of Captain Farron costing 4 or less mana. It's relatively expensive featuring 5 epic cards. The core idea of this deck is to get your Captain Farron out as fast as possible and finish the game with him. To accomplish this goal, you need to do 3 things: draw him, survive, and deal a little bit of damage before he comes onto the board. To accomplish the draw part, we have the so-called discard package. Discard to draw cards like Sump Dredger and Rummage are fantastic draw tools, which unfortunately would not really increase your hand size, but basically quickly cycle through your deck faster to get the cards you need. That's where Draven, Chump Wump and Ballistic Bot come in. By generating cards which are not as very useful, you can use them as basically easy discard targets and replace them with more valuable cards. To survive, you have lots and lots of control tools, like Mystic Shot and Thermogenic Beam. Use these to take out your opponent's key cards. On top of that, all the units from the discard package are pretty good blockers too. Ezreal can be involved in your game plan, which also helps on the control side, giving you additional Mystic Shots. Finish off by summoning Captain Farron and using his Overwhelm and the decimates he generates to quickly finish off your opponent. This is Zoe Lee Sin Targon and features cards from Targon and Iona. It's a very spell heavy deck featuring 23 spells in total. Has a lot of low cost cards too, with 23 costing 2 or less mana. The deck is fairly expensive with 6 epic cards. This deck is the finest example of how a combo deck can work. You want to survive against aggro decks and you want to get your combo out as fast as possible against control decks before they get to their late game. The combo here is to level up Lee Sin, cast Zenith Blade on his ability so it hits the Nexus and removes the blocker, and then with the Overwhelm from Zenith Blade, Lee Sin will actually hit the Nexus, making it an unblockable double attack, which seems broken and to be honest it probably is. You would think that this is really simple and easy to achieve. In theory it is if you can survive long enough. For this we have cards like Sparklefly and Eye of the Dragon. Sparklefly and Eye of the Dragon's Dragalings both have lifesteal, so you'll consistently summon Dragalings with this as the deck has so many low cost spells. Buff your lifesteal cards up with spells like Pale Cascade and Bastion to make their damage bigger, meaning your lifesteal heal is also bigger as a result. Next, we want to level up Lee Sin, and to do this we have to cast cheap spells, and cards which generate those cheap spells, for example, Mentor of the Stones who can create gems, or Pale Cascade once again, as this is just 2 mana. Then occasionally you may have removal spells of challenger cards trying to take out your Lee Sin, and aside from his obviously natural barrier you can get for his ability, you can also cast protections like Deny or Bastion once again. With the introduction of Zoe, the Lee Sin Targon archetype got some changes, but essentially plays out the same way. Zoe can generate super cool star charts which contributes to Lee Sin leveling up, so it's not really key to the theme of the deck, so she basically acts as a glorified follower. So overall this is a very skill based deck and in the right hands can be absolutely devastating. And there we go guys, what do you think to this look at popular decks? I bet you've seen at least one of them playing today. Interestingly, Zoe Lee Sin Targon did not actually appear in my top 10 decks in terms of win rate this patch. I think people just really enjoy pulling off the combo when it works. With the knowledge that these decks are very present in the current meta, I hope you can build around them with decks that counter these. The data presented here is analysed by BomberTV using MOBA Analytics. He's a Masters tier player with a background in game theory and game design. He took the most winning archetypes into Master tier, excluding ones with small play rates, analysed their key properties on why they are so strong. Link to his channel is in a pinned comment and in the card above. What do you guys think is the best deck in patch 2.0? I would love to hear in the comments. Up next is patch 2.1 preview predictions, taking a look at the buffs, nerfs and reworks Bomber and I predict for the big balance update in patch 2.1. You know what to do if you want to see these. I've recently set up an Instagram account, @LoreGuides, and I'll be doing a giveaway shortly. Please follow this account for see posts about new videos and for being a chance of winning this giveaway. Please remember to like and subscribe and turn on bell notifications too. See you next time guys.